Welcome to Heartfelt with Julie Margerison, a space for honest stories, tender truths, and soul-deep conversations. I'm your host, Julie Margerison, and here we explore the questions that stir something real in us. Questions about joy, fear, healing, and the moments that shape who we are. Each episode is an invitation to slow down, go deeper, and hear the kind of stories that remind us we're not alone in this human experience. So wherever you are right now, thank you for being here. Let's begin. I want to talk about me today. So no interviewing, it's just all about what is showing up for me today. So for this episode, I want to talk about when I feel tired. Last night, my husband was watching TV and I shouldn't have been on my computer, but I was doing some work getting the end of financial year stuff sorted, and I must have been overlooking at the TV at times. And since I have been seeing my integrative doctor and he has linked my underactive thyroid and my sleep crappiness that I have through the night with being in too much blue light, and I need to get back into circadian rhythm. So for quite a few months now, I have been really good and I have been sleeping so much better. But last night, the TV was on and the blue light must have been getting into my eyes and also being on the computer. My Mac, I do have it, so it is toned down in the colouring. So sometimes it can be quite dark to look at, and it really annoys Russell because he goes, I can't bloody see anything. But with my awareness being on not having blue light in my life after the sun goes down, it has really helped my sleeping. So last night I was on the computer with the TV still going up until just before shower time and heading to bed. And I had a crappy night's sleep. I couldn't wind down. I couldn't go to sleep. I was hearing everything. I had been having this sleep pattern for many years, since my single days, and I have enjoyed not having the sleepiness. And so this morning I woke up tired and I could feel that I was being crabby and I just wanted to go back to bed. I don't like this feeling, and I can actually feel now when I have these moments of tiredness, I try and push through it. And in the olden days, maybe 2 years ago, I would, well, no, it's been since, when did I last have sugar? I really know that it happened September 24 was when I really went on zero carbs. So previous to that, for the 54 years previous to that, I know that I have used sugar to give me that energy burst. And I would eat chocolate, or I've never been a coffee drinker, so I haven't had the caffeine fix. But certainly green tea with some lemon in it, or a biscuit, whatever carbs to get me through that tiredness stage. But then what would happen was I would then crash, and then I'd have to eat more carbs to get me back up again. So it was actually a vicious cycle. I was surviving on 6 and 7 hours sleep because I couldn't sleep. I would go to sleep, but then I'd wake up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And a thing that I would do, which I have learned through my integrative doctor, is I would turn on the light to go to the toilet because I was still menstruating and I would never know when that would happen. So I would have the light on to check through the night. But I am pleased to say I have passed the year. That was back in February. I passed the year, so I'm now menopause. No more perimenopause. So I now don't turn on a light when I need to go to the toilet because the integrative doctor explained to me that having that light in my eyes stops the melatonin production, and melatonin helps with sleep. So that has been really helping me lots, except last night. Another thing that helps with sleep is sunbaking and being out in the sun and getting my rays on my stomach and on my breasts and on my body. So getting my vitamin D really helps. And with winter happening, I haven't had a chance to be in the sun, and the UV is not as high as what it is in the summertime. I can go out there and get my vitamin D intake in 10 minutes. Now I have to be out there for 40 or 50 minutes, and it's a bit breezy and it's cold. So when I saw my doctor a week ago, he said to me, "Do you have an open fire?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "You need to get that fire, that red light, the natural red light on my stomach and on my breasts." So now when we have the fire going, I will sit in front of it and get my intake there naked. And it has been helping, except for last night because I had the TV going on in the background. I wasn't watching the TV, but it was still there in my vision. I can now see in my timeline that when I am tired, things can go pretty shitty. I can get very irritable and I can get triggered easilier, and I can spiral. So instead of allowing myself to rest, I try and push through it. And that hasn't been very beneficial for me, as I've seen in life. I will end up having a fight. I will end up being very crotchety. So today I'm actually going to a lie in the sun naked and have a nap because I can already feel the spiral happening. No one's around. No one's here to irritate me, but I'm feeling irritated. And then it'll get that I'll be more and more tired, and then poor Russell will come home and I will probably snap at him. So I'm so grateful that this is in my awareness, and I'm sure Russell will be grateful too that I have a sleep. Not a long sleep, just a nap, because I don't want to wrecked my sleep pattern. So I tend to only nap for no more than 20 minutes, and that changes the frequency that's coming out of me. So I wanted this episode to be about why it's important for me to not be tired. So it's important for me to turn off the TV when the sun goes down. It's important to me not to be in front of the computer after the sun goes down, because my next day will flow so much better. So I am human and I still make mistakes, and I know that it's a little challenging for me not to be watching TV, because that's what a lot of people do after work. They so-called relax. But the new pastime for us now is to sit on the lounge, have our peppermint tea, and do a crossword, listen to some music, or just chat about the day, and have 2 hours before bedtime with no screen time. Sometimes I do check my phone, but I actually have it on a red screen, so it's not blue light. And through the night, I still have my phone around when I get up to check the time, but it's always on the red screen, so it doesn't affect my melatonin production. So I'm pleased that in my self-discovery journey, I have come to understand how important sleep is and how it makes my days flow better. So I will be very aware of this, and I look forward to a good night's sleep tonight. I know there are times that TV or blue lights are on at night, but I think the most important thing that I have to be aware of is to have that 2 hours of downtime before bed, because then that relaxes me and then I'm ready for sleep. Because last night when I went to bed at 10 o'clock, I was still highly charged, and it was really hard for me to turn off. And then this morning, I'm thinking about chocolate because I'm feeling that tired feeling. So that's my share for this episode. And I really thank you for sharing this moment with us. And I hope something in this conversation stayed with you, opened something in you, or simply made you feel seen. If this episode moved you, feel free to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to continue the journey with us, be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Until next time, take care of your heart and remember, your story matters.